Read the following excerpt and answer questions 1 through 4. Columbus and the Egg. This is a story about Columbus, the explorer who discovered America. We have put discovered in quotation marks because actually other people already lived on the continent long before Columbus made his voyage in 1492. This is a story about what might have happened long ago when he was back in Spain. Is it accurate? Did it really occur? That's not known, but it is a story that could have happened. Stories such as this are passed from generation to generation and sometimes are based on facts. When Columbus came back from his trip to the Americas, many people praised him. He was made an admiral. He had made a remarkable voyage despite many challenges. People said what a great thing he had done discovering the Americas. However, not everyone appreciated him. There were some who were jealous of all the adulation. One day, Columbus was at a party that a Spanish gentleman gave in his honor. People were saying, "What a great discovery you have made." Several persons were present who resented this great admiral's success. They were proud and conceited, and they very soon began to try to make Columbus uncomfortable. "You have discovered strange lands beyond the seas," they said, "but what of that? We do not see why there should be so much said about it. Anybody can sail across the ocean, and anybody can coast along the islands on the other side, just as you have done. It is the simplest thing in the world. All you need to do is sail west. That's not a remarkable feat." Columbus made no answer, but after a while he took an egg from a dish and said to the company, "Who among you gentlemen can make this egg stand on end?" "That's impossible," the host replied. "You would need to be a magician to do that." One by one, those at the table tried the experiment. When the egg had gone entirely around and none had succeeded, all said that it could not be done. It was defying gravity. Then Columbus took the egg and struck its small end gently upon the table so as to break the egg. "Gentlemen," said he, "what is easier than to do this, which you said was impossible? It is the simplest thing in the world. Anybody can do it, after he's been shown how." Number 1. What is the theme of the story? A. Columbus was a smart man. B. Don't be jealous of others. C. It is a brave thing to sail the ocean. Or D. Great ideas or accomplishments seem simple after the fact. Number 2. What would be another good title for this story? A. How America was discovered. B. Columbus's challenge to others. C. Respect what others have done. Or D. Magic from a great man. Number 3. How does the second paragraph help develop the message of the story? A. It explains to the reader why some people didn't like Columbus. B. It tells the reader that Columbus was an admiral. C. It develops the idea that Columbus was a smart man. D. It is the paragraph that tells of other explorers of the time period. Number 4. Who is the most important character in helping a reader to understand the theme of the story? A. The King of Spain. B. Those jealous of Columbus. C. Columbus. D. Those who lived in America before Columbus discovered America. Read the following story and answer the questions that follow. My first baseball game. I remember everything about my first Cubs game, although it was 2 years ago. My uncle came to take my sister and me to it on a Saturday in spring, a bright sunny day. He drove a great distance from Indiana to Chicago, but we did not travel in his car to Wrigley Field. We traveled by train to the ballpark because he said traffic would be challenging. He was right about how crowded it would be. In fact, when we arrived, it was so crowded that it was difficult to walk from the train. I was only 10, not very tall at all, so it was hard to see over all the people who crowded the sidewalk. Finally, we got to the entrance, and then we went to our seats after we handed in our tickets. We had tickets that were for seats far back, and it seemed like I climbed about 300 steps to get to them. When we got there, I realized that even though we were at the upper level, I could see everything clearly, the entire field. This expansive view was much better than watching it on TV. Then the game started, and everyone cheered when the Cubs took the field. This really was going to be a great experience, so much better than watching it on TV. The man next to me said, "This is going to be the year. They're playing really well." My uncle said to him, "Let's hope this is the one." But then he whispered to me, I think he's overconfident. We'll have to wait and see. I'm optimistic, but remember last year? They started the season winning, and then they had a long losing streak. Hey, hey, hey! The Cub batter hit a ball that sizzled all the way to the wall. Just then I heard, "Hot dogs, peanuts!" I looked and saw a vendor with a big tray hanging from his shoulders full of hot dogs in plastic wrap and bags of peanuts. "3 hot dogs," my uncle shouted, and he gave the man next to us $6 to pass along down to the man with the hot dogs. He sent back 3 steaming hot dogs with condiments. "This is great," I said to my uncle as I started to munch on my hot dog. "Not so great, Jerome," he said. "We just struck out. This inning is not a winning one." While I'd been watching the hot dogs, the batter had misjudged the pitches and swung at them. "Baseball is a game of predicting," my uncle said. "The batter has to predict what the trajectory of the ball will be and determine if it will be a good one to swing at or if it's going to be a mistake. There's no certainty. It's a guess. The batter has seconds to make that decision." It continued that way for the rest of the game, with us enjoying the food and my uncle saying, "Maybe next time," each time a player misjudged the pitch and returned to the bench. We purchased peanuts, and we even got another hot dog, and I believe I had never eaten such a delicious hot dog. We'd hope every time a batter started out, and then we were disappointed as one by one they struck out and retired back to the bench. Still, it was a remarkably pleasant day with great food, fine weather, and special time with my uncle. The final score was 7-0, so in conclusion, it was 9 innings of hoping and then losing. So we were disappointed about the result, but delighted in the food and fascinated with the way each batter attempted to get a hit. "Those batters really are determined. They never give up," my sister said. "And they all help each other. When they missed, they went back to their team and everyone told them it would be okay next time." "Tomorrow they'll win, I'm certain," one person exclaimed. "Definitely," another replied. "The pitcher tomorrow is outstanding. They'll reverse course then." When we were returning, I asked my uncle, "Why was everyone so optimistic when the score was 0 today? How can they predict a winning performance tomorrow?" "That's what it means to be a Cubs fan. We believe in tomorrow. When they win, it's the best, and if they lose, we expect it will get better, even though experience may tell us it won't. Every year we hope. Every game we hope, and we don't abandon hope. That's loyalty. It's about supporting your team no matter what. Cubs fans are loyal." Felicia said, "I see what you mean. Even when they struck out, they stuck together. They're like a big family. Thanks for taking us, and thanks for being loyal to our family." Number 5. What is the theme of the story? A. Hope and loyalty are important. B. Winning is not the most important thing. C. Baseball can teach a person many life lessons. Or D. Batters have to predict in order to hit a ball. Number 6. What sentence best develops the theme of the story? A. My uncle said to him, "Let's hope this is the one." But then he whispered to me, "I think he's overconfident. We'll have to wait and see. I'm optimistic, but remember last year? They started the season winning, and then they had a long losing streak." B. Hey, hey, hey! The Cub batter hit a ball that sizzled all the way to the wall. C. Those batters really are determined. They never give up, my sister said, and they all help each other. When they missed, they went back to their team, and everyone told them it would be okay next time. D. When we were returning, I asked my uncle, "Why was everyone so optimistic when the score was 0 today? How can they predict a winning performance tomorrow?" Number 7. If you were writing a summary of the story, which detail would be the most important to include? A. The boy is not very tall and cannot see over the crowd. B. They bought hot dogs at the game for $6. C. Many batters struck out. Or D. The teammates encouraged each other when they struck out. The difficult journey. The wagon train departed bright and early this morning. I was disappointed that I had to tell my friends goodbye, but I had chosen to remain here in Denver. By that point, we had already been traveling for several long months. I was sorry to leave St. Louis, but I heard there was gold in California. It was June when we first left St. Louis, and it was October when we got to Denver. I had made the difficult decision that I would not be continuing onward with the rest of the families on the wagon train. When we left St. Louis, we were extremely excited because we were planning on traveling all the way to the ocean. We would journey to California, but that would not be for my family. Almost immediately, we stumbled upon the first major problem of our trip. Our very first day on the road, a wheel flew right off our wagon. The wheel was badly cracked, which meant we were unable to repair the damage ourselves. Since we were not terribly far from St. Louis at that point, John rode all the way back there on his horse. He returned to the wagon train with a brand new wheel. However, that took nearly an entire day while the other families waited. After that, we struggled with yet another problem. There was an awful rainstorm, and with it came so much mud that the oxen pulling our wagons were unable to get the wagons moving again. We had to wait for the rain to stop completely and for the mud to dry before we could continue onward. Because of this, we lost an additional 2 days. We were unbelievably exhausted, and it had been a mere 2 weeks, but we kept on traveling. Unfortunately, we then had to stop once more because the Brown family fell ill. We waited a few days for them to recover, but they eventually gave up and turned back. Every single day, we faced very difficult work, but we still persevered. Nevertheless, by the time we arrived in Denver, it was just too much to handle. We had decided that we were going to leave the wagon train. That night, we informed the wagon master of our plans. The wagon master asked us to change our minds and told us, "We've overcome the worst now." However, I knew our trip would certainly not be getting any easier. The mountains we had just crossed were only the beginning. It had already been such hard work to get where we were now, and I knew it would be even more difficult to reach the ocean in California. That is when we decided the best option was to remain here in Denver. Today, I've gone off to hunt for a new job. There are several jobs in the mines, and I hope to fill one of the positions. Then we will be able to get our own home. I am extremely thankful that living in a tent beside the covered wagon is over. Instead, we will have a permanent place where we can live. Although I will greatly miss my friends, I will not miss all the troubles and hardships we endured. I wrote a letter to a friend I made on the trip. I wanted him to know we are doing well, although I miss him. Number 8. What is the theme of the story? A. We must persevere in life. B. Life is full of difficult choices. C. Friends will never let you down. D. Traveling on a wagon train was difficult. Number 9. Which of the following sentences is the most important in determining the theme of the story? A. I had made the difficult decision that I would not be continuing onward with the rest of the families on the wagon train. B. When we left St. Louis, we were extremely excited because we were planning on traveling all the way to the ocean. C. There was an awful rainstorm, and with it came so much mud that the oxen pulling our wagons were unable to get the wagons moving again. D. We were unbelievably exhausted, and it had been a mere 2 weeks, but we kept on traveling. Number 10. Which character is the most important in helping the reader understand the theme of the story? A. The narrator's parents. B. The wagon master. C. The narrator's friends. Or D. The narrator.